Families or couples from Central American countries come into the United States in search of a better life. They come to give their family better opportunities that they didn't have back in their countries. They have to go through a dangerous journey of many kilometers to get to the United States. Some cross by deserts or by water. They have to manage to pass the border without being seen. They also encounter many dangers such as assaults, robbery, and abduction by criminal gangs. It costs a lot of money and tears for the migrants, but they risk it all for a better future. They move with their future in mind, leaving a part of themselves behind, having to miss important occasions of family back at home. They have to leave their life behind to start a new one here. Undocumented people risk themselves on a daily because if stopped by immigration, they can automatically be sent back to their country. Sadly, if that happens, they can lose everything they have worked hard for after so many years. So many families get separated due to parents getting deported. Children lose their parents and aren't able to see them for a long time. My parents came to the United States 18 years ago, and after 2 years, I was born. I have 3 siblings, and we were all born in the United States. My brother and I had a tough childhood with our biological dad. When I was 8 years old, my parents separated, and after a while, my mom met someone else. He traveled to where we lived to meet us, and after a few months, my family and I moved to Georgia to live with him. After that, our lives changed completely. He did so much for us, and he won our love and respect. He stepped up to be a dad to children who weren't even his, and he taught us what the real meaning of a father was. I admire my parents a lot. They have been through so much, but they've overcome every obstacle for us. My family has always been so close to each other, and it's truly a beautiful feeling. In 2017, my mom got bad news from her family in Mexico. My grandma was very sick and she didn't have much time left to live. My mom was devastated. She wanted to see her again. They had not seen each other for 16 years, so my mom decided she would go see her. That weekend, she traveled to Mexico with my youngest brother. When they got off the airplane in Mexico, she called to let us know, but they still had a few hours to travel by bus. After we got off the phone with her, my dad got a call from my aunt, letting him know the bad news that my grandma had just passed away. I was so heartbroken because I knew it would affect my mom a lot. She had not made it in time and the news would hurt her so much. She went in hopes of being able to hug her one last time, and she wasn't able to. After months, my mom had already tried looking for so many ways to come back to the United States, but there were none. In March of 2018, my siblings and I traveled to Mexico to be with our mother. We were there for almost a year and we faced so many challenges. My dad never stopped supporting us and my family became closer. By December of 2018, my mom decided she would try to enter the US once more. So my siblings and I traveled back to Georgia in February of 2019. The next months were so difficult. By the time July came along, my mom had already tried 3 times and failed every time. She had been put in jail and then sent back to Mexico again. She went through a lot, but she didn't give up. She kept on going because of my siblings and I. She was fighting through it for us, but soon it all started to affect her health. Around the end of July, she decided to stay in Mexico and stop trying for a while. It hurt to know all the suffering she was going through and I couldn't do anything for her. After a few weeks, she decided it was definite. In October of 2019, my 2 youngest siblings traveled back to Mexico with her, and my brother and I stayed here to finish school. In December, my brother and I went to Mexico to visit our mom and siblings. We had missed them so much. In January, when we came back, we continued school and everything was finally calm. I felt peace in my heart. After 2 weeks of returning, one day I was on the bus on my way home from school and I got a call from my brother asking me if I had heard what had happened to my dad. I was so confused and I asked what he was talking about, and he told me that my dad was with Immigration. I instantly felt that my heart sank. I began to cry while so many thoughts crossed my mind. I just wanted to get home quick and know what was going on. When I got home, I was told that he was on his way to work when Immigration got him. It took days for me to be able to talk to my dad. All I wanted was for him to be able to come back home with us. I was so hurt. For the longest, my biggest fear had been getting home from school and not finding my parents home because of a situation like this, and it was happening. I prayed that my dad would be able to come back home soon. The lawyer gathered a lot of papers and information to be able to fight my dad's case. He was already in process of deportation, but the lawyer was trying to get him a bond to be able to stay in the US a few more months. It hurts to see how the law works with these kind of situations. So many families are separated and it's heartbreaking.